Hey Flowmigos, it's your girl Black Flowmigo, aka Miss Flaws and All, and we're back with my 30 days of yoga. Today is day 17, and my flow today is going to be like super playful, so I hope you guys are warm already. I'm already warm. Today's practice is going to be a little bit more advanced, a little bit more like something you might do at the end of a practice as you've already been flowing. So just roll with me. I'm going to start with some seated breaths and movements, or kneeling breaths and movements. Shake the dust off. Breathe myself into tabletop. And I invite you guys to bring your props in. I'm going to be using my yoga wheel today. Maybe blocks, maybe straps. I just like to have fun with my playtings, so you guys can flow with me at your own pace. Pushing back to that child's pose. Breathing long into the body. Knees are wide if you can. And you're taking in some big belly breaths here. Inhale, scooping heart forward, keeping chest low for upward facing dog. And then pushing back with child's pose. And that's the flow. I'm just getting into my breath here. Inhale, diving the heart forward for upward facing dog, squeezing glutes. And then exhale, pressing back for child's pose. Inhale, scooping the heart forward, squeezing glutes, lifting chest, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, pressing back, knees are wide if you want. Now you can stay in that tabletop, and then we're going to start to extend front leg and the back arm. So alternate leg and arm extending here, engaging the core, breathing in. And then breathing out, rounding spine, tucking chin, bringing elbow and knee underneath. Gonna take a few more rounds. Crunching the elbow and knee together. Inhaling out long, exhaling to crunch. And then on your last one, bending that back foot, reaching around for tip of toes with opposite hand. And that's gonna help open up the quad and the hip flexor there. And you can keep that gaze firmly planted. Now maybe you take a moment to reset in cat and cow. It's up to you. Take your time. Pressing back for a child's pose. And then we're going to gently return back to our flow at our own pace, of course. Inhale, maybe scooping the heart forward. Stacking up for tabletop. Resetting. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And then taking that back leg out this time, and the front arm extends. You can feel free to engage through the toes, engage through the fingertips, extending long here. Big breath in, and exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. I'm taking a few more at your own pace. Find that long extension again, and then this time we're going to bend the back leg. Reach around, opposite hand to foot, pushing foot to hand as you connect to open up the hip flexors in that leg, and open up the shoulder as well. Resetting, and falling back into that child's pose. So we're going to move into a more energetic pose, headstand. I'm going to use my yoga wheel, but you guys are welcome to use any props, or maybe line up against the wall, or free floats if that's your thing. All my Flowmigos know that I love a good inversion, so I just want you guys to make sure you stay safe and find the option that works best for you. So I am going to use my wheel, and that's just to demonstrate how you might use the wheel. The technique is still going to be the same with or without the wheel. You're going to place the head down, whether you clasp the hands behind the head or not. You're going to anchor down through the elbows, and then as you walk the feet in, you're trying to stack the hips over the shoulders before you take off. Now you guys kind of see I'm floating at my own leisure, so of course if you're a beginner, you might not have as much movement, you might not get as much hang time, and that's okay. This is just a playful practice I wanted to share with you guys so that you remind yourselves to stay active and energetic and challenge yourselves. So feel free to, of course, to stay in that child's pose position. You didn't have to invert at all. This is just suggestions, and we're just having fun with our practice. So as you guys are ready, will release this pose, and I will put my wheel off to the side. Now, child's pose is a great way to counter stretch after headstand. So stay as long as you need to. Now, I am going to take a moment to just kind of roll my back out on my wheel. So if you guys have a yoga wheel, take a moment to maybe stretch the spine out, find some fluidity and movement here, and open up the body. Just allow everything to open and release, soften, release tension. And then when you're ready, completely coming out of this pose. So if you didn't have a wheel, maybe you were still in child's pose, or perhaps you threaded the needle, maybe you're in happy baby. That's also a great counter stretch for those inversions. So there's lots of options here, guys. Either way, meeting me back in child's pose. I'm gonna inhale for upward facing dog, exhale, child's pose. Inhale for upward facing dog, exhale, pushing back again, child's pose, and then inhale, find the upward, exhale, child's pose. One more time at your own pace before you come to tabletop, completely stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And we're gonna find our way into another tabletop extension. Taking that front leg out long, bending the knee, and then reaching around with your wheel or maybe your yoga strap. And you wanna grab the top of toes or maybe around the ankle, wherever you can grab, securing whatever prop you have, or maybe securing hand. And then again, we want to push foot into hand. So we want to open up those hip flexors. Take a few rounds to reset when you're ready. Rounds of cat and cow. Let the spine breathe again. And then we're going to try it again on opposite side. Taking that leg out long on the back side. Bending the back knee. Now squeeze the glute. You always want to engage the glutes here to protect low back. And reach around, opposite hand is reaching for either foot or ankle. Now, if you don't have a yoga wheel, I recommend a yoga strap or a towel, a belt even. I've seen people get really creative. Whatever you can do. And then we want to try to reach back for that foot. And again, searching for length in that back hip flexor. Searching for stability through the front palm. Really be careful when you come out, because sometimes the exit strategy is not fully put together. So finding that counter stretch when you release, back to child's pose. Breathe in, find upward facing dog. Breathe out, find child's pose. That can be a flow, or you can just stay in child's pose. That's okay too. Either way, breathing in, filling up the belly, expanding. Breathing out, releasing, and coming into tabletop one more time. This time we're going to slide the back knee through our hands, framing the knee with our hands, and then adding a back knee bend if we can, or option to not bend at all. Now I'm flipping the grip, and like I said, I'm pretty warm here, so if this isn't something you do in your normal practice, it might feel a little weird. Feel free to use your tools, but do not force it. Now taking a fold over that front knee to release, counter stretch by releasing the pose and folding over the knee. Walk the hands back to frame the knee when you're ready. Untuck your back toes, secure that knee, walk yourself back to palms, and we're going to switch sides. So same thing here, finding that pigeon pose, leg nice and long behind you. Breathe in and breathe out over the knee. Now the front knee is in between the hands, so it should feel like the back leg gets a chance to breathe. Walk the hands back to frame the front knee. And you're going to bend the back knee, engaging the glute, deciding what feels good for you. Remembering your tools and props here, go ahead and reach back behind you. or the top of foot or ankle, whatever you can grab with opposite hand. And then we're gonna pull the foot in, squeeze the glute to protect low back. Completely release. Counter stretch with a fold over that front knee. And then we'll breathe in, place the hands to frame the knee, and press out of this position at our own pace. Go ahead and press up, stack the shoulders over the wrist, untuck the back toes, and slide the front knee back to meet the back knee. Now we can take a few rounds in our cat and cow, completely resetting, reviving the spine, the breath, the legs. Maybe taking a few rounds of cat and cow. Maybe releasing down to the back. We have a few cool down poses, and then I'm going to release you guys, so we won't stay too long. But starting in happy baby or variation that feels good for you, go ahead and extend those legs, expand, and feel those hamstrings lengthen. Now rebend those knees for happy baby when you're ready. When you're here, maybe rock side to side, add a movement that feels good. If it feels good, just rebending those feet, bringing heels together, maybe rocking side to side that way. This pose can be as restorative as you like, so find an option that you prefer. And then extend that front leg, maybe taking a little hamstring stretch on each side at your own pace, of course. Back leg can extend when you're ready too. Maybe you hug those legs in. And don't forget to trade sides at your own pace, of course. Taking each stretch as deep as you would like. Being as intentional as you would like. Honoring your body, your space, your time, your effort. Just extend some gratitude to yourself as you find these last few cool down stretches and moments to yourself. Really enjoy it. I need to think this through. Your words are weapons. Can't you see what you do, girl? No, you I'll give you guys a few moments in reclined butterfly with those knees wide, the feet together, upper body super relaxed. Take a few moments to extend some gratitude, extend some appreciation. Take a moment to settle any tension that you might have. We're so close to being done. I want to invite you guys to do any final stretches that feel good for you. Maybe staying in your reclined butterfly or finding your Savasana. I'm not going to do one today, but I am going to allow you guys to play around and tap into your playful, energetic, bright practice. Taking any poses that feel good, any last minute movements that you haven't done, that your body is calling on you to do. I find myself in shoulder stand, having a little bit more fun than I anticipated. So coming into plow pose, but without the feet touching down and stacking my knees or hips over shoulders and bending my knees rather. Now you guys might find a moment to just find other poses that you like, and that's okay. Everything is as it should be. This is your practice. I'm gonna end with some supine twist, knees to sky, crossing one leg over the other, sitting hips away so the knees can fall, and then turning head away from legs. Breathing into the spine, anchoring those arms and shoulder blades, back of the hands pressing down firmly if you can. And just breathing into the spine. When it's time to release, uncrossing Bring your knees back to the sky, crossing the opposite leg this time. Sitting hips away from the legs and letting the knees fall. Turning head away from legs, of course. And that's how we find that twist. Go ahead and breathe long into the spine. As you're ready, you can come back to a center position, uncrossing the legs slowly. Maybe bringing those knees wide, heels together, and just opening those knees out for a reclined butterfly again. And you have the option to stay here for a while, or to introduce movement that serves you better for your current purpose, for your restorative needs. We'll end up doing a small moment of Savasana, just taking our own moment, seizing our moment in whatever pose feels the best for us while we decompress. Let our body completely melt into the mat. Soften any places of tension. Taking out all effort, all expectations, anything that isn't in the moment. Allow it to pass. Thoughts, breaths, tension, release it all. Softening head, softening shoulder blades, softening the tongue away from roof of mouth. And if it feels good to stay, remaining in your Savasana. If you're ready, bringing small movement, small stretches into the body before rolling to one side and slowly, at your own pace, taking your time to make it back to seated position. If it feels better to linger in Savasana, I invite you to stay. Releasing any tension you might feel. Here in seated pose, taking any sort of movements or stretches that feel good for you. I want to thank you guys for joining me for another day of my 30 days of yoga. I appreciate you guys showing up and being present. The light in me honors your light. Peace and love, Flowmigos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want me to see your progress, feel free to tag me on Instagram at Black Flowmigo or Facebook at Flowmigos Fitness. Peace and light, Flowmigos. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.